right, I feel like we can move on to the next theory.
Yes. So the next one is also from 3-Day.
Oh, another 3-day theory. Another
And here it's called
TDT.
Blackbeard wasn't the first. I'm
All
gonna let
right.
you read it as well.
You want me to read it? All right, I'll read it.
Wait, can I read this one?
Oh, yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Okay. No, when I was in school, I was always the kid who wanted to read in class. So
Oh,
if
go
it,
ahead.
at the beginning, I got like a flashback when we made Hime go. I was like, oh, this is like when the teacher makes someone go who doesn't want to go and read.
Listen,
So-
if it was in French, I would be
She
the
would
first
be
to
like,
go.
"Don't
What
me
is-
vous,
Oh,
don't
for
me
sure.
vous, frère Jacques."
All right, I'm gonna read. Well, normal speed, but I think it's kind of fast. So be prepared because
All right.
lots of pictures. It looks like, but now I know the Gorosei said there are no records of anyone ever eating 2 devil fruits before until Blackbeard's no commas. Sorry, but they're probably in my head. I'm like placing punctuation. 2 devil fruits before until Blackbeard. But what if till this day no one really has ate 2 of them? They just think he did. What if Blackbeard absorbed the power after Whitebeard's death and it had nothing to do with eating it? Some people speculate Blackbeard had a fruit with him at the time Whitebeard died, so it would regrow immediately and then he just ate it. What if Blackbeard was not the first person to gain the power of 2 fruits? He was just the first person to showcase the ability. We have recently saw proof of the family of D using 2 devil fruit abilities with Luffy and Law too, not just Blackbeard, but all 3 of them absorbed part of their powers shortly after someone close to them died. After the death of Whitebeard, Blackbeard absorbed his powers consciously or by force, possibly using his devil fruit powers, but Luffy and Law did it subconsciously, or maybe Rosinante and Ace's will was passed on in the form of the devil fruit powers, but Blackbeard left the will behind and absorbed only the power. So in short, I think this is an ability that the D clan have. It's a way to pass on their will and or for another to carry it forward, an absorption and transference ability. I'm not saying others can't develop powers. I'm only saying the D clan have the ability to pass them on in the form of a devil fruit or even without, like absorb or transfer. The first person to absorb someone's devil fruit power was Law after Rosinante died. He showed this ability on Onigashima when he silenced Big Mom. He used Rosinante's powers or technique, which was awesome. It was our room or whatever. Then Luffy was holding Ace when he died and later gained the power of fire. He showed this ability after the time skip. And then we see a picture of Red Hawk. Although these powers were passed on or absorbed, it is still possible that the fruits were still regrown elsewhere, just like Ace's devil fruit. I think they only absorbed a portion of the powers or techniques. And I also speculate that if someone without any devil fruit power from the D clan absorbs the power in this way, that they would not suffer the curse of the devil fruit itself. They would still be able to swim. I'm not saying this is fact, but in my opinion, it's a possibility. If the D clan is from the ancient kingdom and knew something bad was going to happen, maybe their only choice was to put their soul or willpower into a fruit. In other words, devil fruits with, D emphasized for, the initial D, devil fruits are their very own creation, the will of D. One Piece really does bring joy to my life and so many others, and I know there are probably so many ways for characters to gain a power such as fire, lightning, etc., but this was fun and I just wanted to share it.
Should I go to part 2?
Oh, there is a part 2? Let's do that.
All right, word up.
Well, if it's super long, maybe we'll talk about the first part first. But let's see. Can you scroll down real quick? So I can see?
Let's see how long this one is. Oh, it's not that bad.
Really
All right, go
I
ahead.
can get to that really quick.
All right, let's go.
For a very long time, I never really questioned this devil fruit cycle, but now I kind of have to. I always thought it started with normal person eats a devil fruit, then becomes strong with the powers of a devil. Strong person dies, and soul power of the devil fruit leaves the body. Devil fruit power enters a fruit nearby, and it becomes a devil fruit. Then the cycle repeats. We got a picture of it from chapter 600 something. I can't remember. I just looked it up recently. Some would say there is no real beginning or end in a cycle like this, but what if there was? And what if step 1 became step 4? Doesn't it make you feel like it's the which came first, the chicken or the egg scenario? I definitely agree with that, by the way. So let's look at it this way. Let's say it all began centuries ago, not with the devil fruit or eating it, but it started with a very strong person with spiky hair in the red circle instead. And then it would be, and she's talking about from the picture before with the red circle. Then it would be a strong person with powers of a devil, then a strong... Okay, you start with a strong person with powers of a devil, then strong person with devil fruit powers die and their soul power, whatever, leaves the body. The devil powers enter a fruit nearby and becomes a devil fruit. Normal person eats a devil fruit. Then the cycle repeats. Now, who does the strong person with devil powers look like in the red circle above? Oh, okay, so you're saying it's Luffy. Can you scroll up real quick so I can see the first picture? Okay, that was how it was drawn in the manga. Like that, it's like someone recolored it, but that is actually exactly what was in the manga. It was in Dressrosa. It was like some weird guy talking about the Marimera, if I remember correctly. Um, so it does kind of look like him actually. And I mean, even I don't know if you say it, but I'll just say real quick. And Hyogoro talked about him looking like a flame god or whatever before. But anyway, when I was thinking this theory over, I noticed the resemblance because of the spiky hair and eyes. Plus, Luffy has posed like that before a few times. Not sure if it's intentional, and he definitely has. Could the D Clan really have been the ones to start the Devil Fruit cycle because of some special technique or rare ability? If so, then why would they do this? Or was it all destiny and beyond their control? If any of this is true and the D Clan have a technique or ability of some kind that allows them to control the powers of the devils or souls inside the fruits or inside other people, then it would explain how Blackbeard is able to give and take Devil Fruit abilities. If so, then at the moment he may be the only D that knows or can control it. Maybe Vegapunk figured it out because it could be the ancient technology. Or it's possible it all started with the sun god Nika, Sun Tree Eve, or Joy Boy, and souls are made of light. Light and darkness play a huge role in One Piece. I also found it interesting the soul of the devil fruit has wings and a swirl. It makes me wonder if that's what gives the devil fruits its swirls, and the wings are because of Lunarian DNA, which like they were, gods back then, so it makes sense. Just something to think about. But if you want to look at my first post, it said, okay, you guys, going back to the first one we just read. So thoughts, you two?
This is so cool. I really like it. Like I never thought about it. Like, give me just a sec.
Yo. She's about to beat her dog up, bro.
Immediate. I was gonna say, is it the dog?
Okay, so now I had to like throw his shit because he's such an
Thank you for getting me
attention-
demonetized,
Oh.
bro.
And what? I didn't say anything.
You said a swear, bro.
She's like
I
Boa.
swear. I said I swear. What?
She's like Boa in Amazon Lily whenever she stopped to kick the puppy on the way to the boat.
Okay, but yeah, so I'm sorry. Okay, so to get back to my opinion, I really like this theory. Personally, I have another theory on how like Blackbeard can eat like many devil fruits, but I like the fact that like it's giving like the D-Clan something special about them other than like their will.
Say your theory, Hime.
What?
Say your theory for Blackbeard.
Okay, so I mean, it's more like I just went about it like in a scientific way, and so I think it's because of his devil fruit that he's able to eat other devil fruits. I mean, a lot of people think like that, but I think it's because since his devil fruit can negate other devil fruits abilities, maybe like by how okay, I'm going to try to explain this. It's really hard in English for me, but maybe by like eating another devil fruit, he's able like to negate the fact that this devil fruit the devil fruits are gonna eat each other, and he's able like to like close the door whenever he doesn't want a devil fruit to work its power, and he can open the door whenever he wants to with his devil fruit. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, so just to say that like he's able to like work it around and like close just like chakras, like doors. He can close it and open it whenever he wants with his devil fruit. That's how I see it, and that's why I think he can have multiple devil fruits. But I also really like 3D's theory about like the D-Clan, because I never thought about the fact that like when Luffy was able like to use fire, or like when Law was able to use like Corazone's ability. I never thought about these moments, and I'm like, yo, yeah, there's like a lot of will, a lot of things that comes down with the devil fruits, so that can really make sense. I like that. But what do you think, Chestnut?
Me. I mean, I have my own theory. I think that 3-Day is spot on with the fact that the D-Clan and Devil Fruits are highly related. The D-Clan is actually the 12 tribes of Israel. When you look at them and you look at the different D-Clans, because there are multiple like D-Clan like tribes with last names, right? There's going to be 12 of them. And we keep learning more, and it's like as we get more D-Clan names, like it's going to fill up to be 12. They're the 12 tribes of Israel. Joy Boy is Joseph, the king of dreams, because obviously his dreams were so large. That's like the parallel to that. So I think that because of that, and because of the biblical symbolism, I'm actually very partial to it being from the Adam and Eve tree. And there's something with the D-Clan and the Adam and Eve tree just because of all of that symbolism. So I like it. I think that she's spot on with the D-Clan, like having something to do with devil fruits. I just think that I would take it a different way, and I'd go more of a biblical route, because there's so much biblical references when Oda is doing this. The second thing is that I do disagree not so much about like the devil fruits getting powers, because I think that technically all D-Clan members, because they have this connection, I think that they can just like change the devil fruits. I think that like devil fruits are literally just what you desire them to be. So if you have a devil fruit, you can just desire it to be something else. And I think people don't know this. But Blackbeard ate 2 devil fruits because you can eat 2 devil fruits. The world government is lying to you. There is
Oh my
nothing
God,
that
not
stop.
again.
There is nothing that is stopping people except for the propaganda of the world government, bro. You can eat 2 devil fruits, bro. You can eat 2 devil fruits and nothing will happen. And the only reason that Blackbeard did that is to try to like trick people. Oh, he did it secretly because of his devil fruit. Because he knew that if he didn't do that, the world government would go after him. And the top, because they don't want people knowing this, man. It is information that they do not want to get out. But I like this theory. I think it was very good.
propaganda. What are you doing is propaganda.
No,
okay?
bro, the world government is
don't
lying.
ruin the Blackbeard stocks with this blasphemy. You were there.
Bro, I can't. Yo, listen. That's the thing. I told her that. Do you think somebody else, nobody in this
Totally
whole
taken
city
out by the
didn't
God
try
Knights. What do you think the God Knights are for, bro?
it? Bro, you really?
God Knights are for this,
You know what?
bro. They
You know
did.
what?
They be
You know what?
taking out people, bro. They just be like, oh, this person was just really powerful.
Listen. The thing is, the One Piece word would be way too broken if anybody could eat.
Well,
many
that's the
devil
thing.
fruits, like-
If your desire was strong enough to eat 2 devil fruits, you'd just be able to eat 2 of them. That's like the entire point. The world government just doesn't want that, so they stifle desire, so that you
I
can't
feel-
desire to eat 2 because people don't have that, therefore they can't.
I
think
feel
that
like
it's-
for just from a writing perspective, that would be a colossal L from Oda to like just say that, and then for 1,000 chapters, not like nobody thought to try it or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's my biggest issue, just from a writing perspective. I'd be like, Oda, come
Come on,
on,
bro.
like you
Come on,
gotta, you just add a little trick, like I don't even know what it could be, but it can't be that, like, because I'm sure pirates thought like you're thinking right now, Chestnut, like it's somebody at some point throughout the 800 years was like, maybe they probably didn't even hear it, like they didn't even know about that rumor about eating 2, and they probably tried it, right?
A lot
Like,
of
at
people
least I
don't
would-
even think
I'd
devil
have to
fruits
imagine.
exist, though. You know what I mean? So let's say like
Yeah,
they
well-
don't have a desire to have like more like it would be like basically the fact that the world government has stifled them to the point like they don't even believe these fruits exist in like the East Blue and stuff. And then you get to like the New World and it's like everybody knows because the world government is very active there where it's like, well, you can't eat 2. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's devils inside of them. There's all of this propaganda going along, and because of that, it stifles people's desires. Because when you think
Like-
about a devil fruit and the way that Vegapunk actually explained it, it's quite literally that devil fruits are these desires and dreams, and you can basically have it. And it's like, if it's your desire, like, why would your desire only stop at one thing?
If I was like if I'm Kaido, I'm gonna take 2 of the slaves I have and that I'm already giving devil fruits to, and try to just feed 2 and see what happens, and then learn. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be someone like risking it or like even like have it like any kind of desire thing. Like if I'm just because Kaido had a whole devil fruit army, I'm sure he thought of I should try doing 2 because then like they're even more powerful, and it wouldn't work. I would just have to imagine like that's what I mean by like it would just be a huge L. It's like there's so many times when any half-brained pirate would have been like, I'm gonna try 2 fruits here for either this guy I'm controlling or for myself or whatever, and like for that to never happen would
But then
be
you would waste the devil fruit. You know what I mean? Like they're
Oh,
so
he had
rare
so
and
many
there's so
smile
much.
fruits.
Like, well, the smile
Smile
fruits
fruits.
are different though too than like actual devil fruits. You know what I mean? So like
I'm sure at some
especially
point.
so like especially if you're thinking about 2 devil fruits, would you really waste another devil fruit when you could give it to somebody else and have that power? Then like if the guy's gonna die, that's what I'm thinking, bro. It's all about the mental game.
I also think Vegapunk would have done this a long time ago if it was possible. You know what I mean?
He did. He actually did do this, but in robots, and he gave
No.
them multiple devil fruit powers.
But they have to stop using the one. Like that's why it's the green blood. Like they don't use it permanently because they can't have 2 at the same time. Like
Yeah,
that almost
his-
proves it in my mind.
So like, especially when you look at like the pacifistas and like the Mark IIIs and stuff, where they have like Kuma's devil fruit and Kizaru's devil fruit, where it's like technically like he has those devil fruit powers.
Though. That's not devil fruit
He
powers.
he
though.
recreated those devil fruit powers.
Right, but it's not devil fruit power. He created the lasers from his powers, but those aren't devil fruit powers. Like
It
they
would be
aren't,
like based
they're
off
not-
of it, because like when you think about it, Vegapunk is doing what he's able to clone devil fruits by using lineage factor, right? And that's how he was able to do Zoans, and then he's able to further that with
Put
like
it to
Paramecians.
the chat. Put it to the chat, and then let them decide.
All right, bet. Because like he copies Kuma's powers.
But as for 3 days theory, real quick, because I haven't gotten to say
Oh,
anything.
yeah,
on it
yeah,
yet.
go ahead, go
Let me
ahead.
go on that real quick. I actually like the point that my favorite point was about the powers like being passed on. I don't think it works that explicitly. I don't think like the next person to get Law's fruit or Luffy's fruit is gonna be like more likely, or like they're gonna immediately know how to add fire or silence abilities to their fruit. But I do think like the will transferring in form of inherited will does have a layer because like devil fruits were said to be will or dream based. Now that's Vegapunk's dream theory. I mean, he said that, so I don't, it's not 100%. He's just basing it off of like what he's seen so far, so we don't actually know. But I think what's happening in those situations is like we're seeing more and more that devil fruits are will based in the sense of like if you have strong enough will or knowledge or hockey or you can use all the different terms you want, you can probably mimic devil fruit powers. Like I think that's what Shank's crew probably does, is like their hockey is so strong that they can just like it says Shanks has a flaming sword, for example, but he also doesn't have a devil fruit. So right there he's able to add fire to his powers somehow without actually having fire powers. So like how's he doing that, right? And like other people have similar things. Like I don't know, there's a lot we could like Lucky Roo is based off a guy who's faster than his own shadow, and so it's like does Lucky Roo, because he's supposed to also be really fast, or that's like one of the most popular thoughts for a long time. It's like, does he use his shadow like some kind of crazy hockey thing there? So it's like we're seeing that hockey can kind of like blur the line a little bit already. So I think what's happening is it's a similar thing where like because Law was influenced by Corazon and knew about the silent stuff, that is the only reason he thought to use that power there. So it was passed on in that sense. But it's more like he's just mastering his abilities, like with his will or whatever you want to call it, to where he can make the powers do whatever he wants. Like I think how Luffy's power is freedom, and he has like limitless abilities and whatever, like he can stretch himself however he wants. I think we're gonna find out that other people have like in a similar vein that's true for them, not like where they can stretch, but they can do almost anything they want with their powers. Like they aren't boxing as much as they thought. And I think that's like what this passing on of abilities really is. So so I do like that part.
All right, I love it. So I guess we'll get to the rating the theories. I like this one. Thumbs up. I really like this. I think that it's well structured again.
One. I love this. Even though I have my own theory, I love it. I wouldn't even be mad if this was true. Like thumbs up, 100%.
Also, this poll question,
Yeah.
we got to talk about this real quick because this is not the question I meant, and also this question is ambiguous. I feel like because the answer is yes in general, because like
the past
like
the bubbles. Like, are like,
right,
does it have Kuma's power? Like, are they devil fruit powers? Are they technology?
But that's what I'm saying. But I think people who read that question they're not gonna fully understand the context of what we were saying, where it's like,
they're all in here.
like because they're like having devil fruit powers would be like you actually like with the green blood, or you actually ate the fruit.
Yeah, but those are like seraphims specifically. I said the pacifistas.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, but like I think if you ask somebody, hey, those lasers that the pacifista have, does that mean they have Kizaru's devil fruit powers? I don't think they would say yes. They would say they have Kizaru's lasers.
Yeah.
I don't think they would say yes. But I think when they read that question, they're going to think of the bubble stuff, and they're going to think a lot of the recent Egghead stuff, and then want to say yes because of that. But I'm mainly saying like the lasers aren't. He doesn't have a devil fruit because of the lasers. Like none of the pacifistas.
No, they don't have devil fruits, but
that.
those are like powers that are like copied from devil fruits. It's like if you take it and you take only that specific thing. That's what I was saying. Like, are these devil fruit
like the
powers?
element, but
yeah, so like it would be like that.
What I'm saying is that's a different question than that. Like I think people who read that think, oh, they have a devil fruit or they have the green blood.
I agree.
That's what they would.
They're not confused.
But yeah. I feel like you're confused because I'm saying like with Kuma's devil fruit, like let's say that all of the pacifistas can use like Kuma's like paw abilities, right? That's them using a devil fruit power. That's what I was saying. Like you can recreate their devil fruit powers and put them into people without giving them a devil fruit.
Right, but that would be the green blood, and that also operates temporarily. And the Paw is a paramecia, which uses the green blood, and the light fruit is a Logia, which he hasn't been able to reproduce.
No, he can't reproduce. You can't reproduce
right, so
the
lasers,
but he can take certain aspects of it to do it.
Right, but they don't have the devil fruit powers. They just have the lasers that Kizaru creates. Like that's what I'm saying. There's a difference between the two, I guess, is all I'm saying.
Pause. Chestnut, mod part, please, because we're gonna forget again.
Okay.
Yes, please. I saw Par in there. Par, what do you think?
The only reason we're not modded is because we probably tend to forget.
Par, can people have two devil fruits? Is the only reason Blackbeard had one is because he tried it and it worked?
Blackbeard just has good ambition, bro. He literally just has the most ambition, bro. He literally just was like, I want power. Like his whole thing is about desire and how he wants to have power. And because of that, he can will himself to overcome whatever the devil fruits do. I went over this theory before with you though, Hime, where I was like,
say, but listen, how I see it is that like yes, his will and wish, his desire, everything helped him get his first devil fruit, and because his first devil fruit allow him to negate other devil fruit, that's why he can absorb other devil fruit.
But then as soon as he
feel like-
stops negating the devil fruit would kill him if with your
Exactly.
logic. So he
It's-
can't do it
yeah.
because he uses the power multiple times. So unless he
No,
like
I-
stops it in the middle of his body and can like perfectly do that, that's the only way that that would make sense. So like how can you technically have another devil fruit if you're unable to eat a devil fruit at all and there isn't excluding criteria? Like when you think about like somebody who has like the most desire and who is like the most evil person in the world, right? The only thing that they want is like power and control. So when they see something, despite the risk, his will overcomes that devil's will in the fruit, and you can just eat two. So like I'm saying, like, and I've said before, like a normal person can't do it. Like a normal person would like die and be overtaken by the devil fruit and probably become some weird amalgamous monster. But like a person whose will is so strong that it can overcome it, they can just eat two.
I don't know. I feel like his devil fruit is doing all the job, because anybody who has enough will would be able to eat two devil fruits, and
But you have
the
to have
fact
a
that-
certain will.
Well,
but
real
that's the
quick,
thing. I'm
let-
talking about that extreme will.
let me just spit a
ahead.
quick theory about Blackbeard that I've been thinking about. Like I've never mentioned this in a video. I think I've mentioned it on stream before, but I think what could be happening with Blackbeard is that because they said his body's weird, right? Like he has a weird body, something's different about it. I'm wondering if if his blood doesn't mix, like his blood is in different parts of his body, like you know what I'm saying? Like what if like each half of his body had a different circulatory system, and then kind of like we saw with the green blood, like it has to be temporary, whatever. He's able to keep the powers in separate parts of his body, like quite literally, because that way it is in one body, but it's not necessarily eating two devil fruits that kills you. It's like the mixing of two different green bloods, you could say, if you, like that's the kind of the logic we're using. Whenever those mix, like the two devils that whatever you want to think of it, those don't, like it just kills you, like your body can't handle it, whatever it is. But by keeping them separate, then you're able to use half and half kind of, or maybe he can do like, maybe he has, I don't know, like more souls in him or something, and it's like a similar vibe. But because it also ties to like Threevil and a lot of I know some other people have mentioned it before, but like the octopus theories or Kraken or whatever,
I've heard of those ones.
because they separate their circulatory systems, right? They're separate, they're different. They have like different hearts for different parts of the body. So I don't know, like does he have multiple hearts, and like that's why they just say separate, and that's the reason. So I don't know, because that would explain why he's able to and nobody else, because he's cheating.
But my real question, I want to say something also, like the chat. I swear, if Yuki could talk, I would get his opinion, y'all. But he's too occupied with his toys. But regarding that, that would mean that Blackbeard is not human. That would mean Blackbeard is like from something, from a tribe, from like another race or something. Like he's not human. That because that wouldn't make sense otherwise.
So
Yep.
Unless he was modified by when he was younger, something like that, you know?
there,
Yeah, I think a different race is definitely possible.
the thing that I really like is that like Kuma and Blackbeard are the same race, and I think so, and it's been
Yes.
like my personal
I'm with you.
headcanon that they are,
Yes.
because they look very similar, and
Yes.
like
Yeah,
Kuma has a weird body.
And Kuma was experimented on with devil fruits. Like he's the perfect person for Vegapunk to use for experiments.
Yeah, because like I do think that there are certain, like there could be like a certain like biological element to have too. I have like 700 theories on the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think that there's either
Yeah,
a
no, I like
biological
that.
element where there's like, that's why all the pacifistas can have two that like can hold like multiple devil fruit powers, because they're all based off of Kuma. And they aren't like just the like Lunarian for like the Seraphims. But I also think that specifically for like Blackbeard, I think that like a lot of those other theories, like with the circulatory system, I think it's good when you're thinking about mostly the Also, we gotta give the membership from Terrible TJ. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Shout out TJ. Everyone, also make sure you have allow gifts enabled so you can get the gift memberships in the future.
I love it. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. My big thing is that when from the Ace novel, which I love the Ace novel, because it is canon,
Oh,
and Oda
same.
did go over.
Oh yeah, because Mass Deuce is the man marked by flames.
we
But
lo-
anyways,
when they ate when Ace and like his other guy that I'm totally blanking on his name right now ate the devil fruits, it was whoever hit the stomach first. It was like whatever devil fruit hit that stomach, that was the first person that got the power, which makes me believe that even if there were different circulatory systems, right? it would have to mean that like Blackbeard, like his esophagus goes to 2 different stomachs and he can like go to 2 different things for it to not hit the same thing, which I think would kind of be impossible because there would always be a chance, especially if you're like chewing a devil fruit and going through it. Like even if you have multiple stomachs, they all usually connect with like biology. You can't have just like 2 separate.
I'm not saying this is the answer, but this is just an example of an answer. What if like an awakened jacket fruit user back in the day like merged 2 people, and so there actually are 2 different complete bodies in one body like merged? I don't know. Again, I don't know how it would work, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
like when you think of like the biology of it, it's like because like your esophagus is one thing, and then it goes into your trachea and your lungs, which are like right here. Now Blackbeard has like a huge stomach, so like that, like technically maybe if he did like the right side and the left side, like maybe, but it would also be like there would be a complete cutoff, and because everything in anastomosis, like one injury to Blackbeard, which we've seen him get injured multiple times, it gets stabbed. One anastomosis because when you get injured, your veins will actually like grow together. This might just be me having too much medical knowledge too, but they would combine and then your blood would mix. So it'd be like.
I'm thinking Oda's gonna pull some shonen logic to make it work. You know, like I'm sure.
Listen,
like, what if like it just sounds like super gross, but like, what if he's like a conjoined set of triplets, and like he's like he can like change which one's in control, and so it's actually like 3 different bodies, but it just looks like one from like our perspective. I don't know.
That would explain his like personality change.
Yep.
But also, like, it's either okay, Oda's gonna take one of the 2 routes. Either like he's gonna make an explanation regarding like Blackbeard's physiology, like how Blackbeard. No, actually, he has 3 routes. Either it's gonna be because of how Blackbeard is, his body, his biology, how he was like maybe experimented on. Another route, it could be, his devil fruit is making this possible. Or the third route is like, the will, the D clan. It's one of these 3. It has to be one of these 3, and he's gonna pick one of them.
Yeah, I'm personally for the will argument because I think that the reason that devil fruits kill you if you eat 2 is because their will is stronger, and I think that the evidence is from Zoan devil fruits. The fact that a Zoan, when you awaken it, you take over. It like takes over your body, and I think that Zoans probably have the most will, but I think that the other 2 devil fruits do have wills, but they work in different ways. So that's probably why the first devil fruit he needed to eat was a Logia, because I think that Logia wills work very differently, and so he needed to work his way up to conquering certain wills. So that's why his second one was a Paramecia. His third devil fruit, which I think he will get 3, will be a Zoan, because at that point he have already conquered the will of 2 different devil fruits, and then he can go for a third. And the Zoans have the strongest will. Which is also why I think like Luffy like kind of parallels Blackbeard, because when you look at Luffy's devil fruit and its awakening, it has the properties of a Zoan, a Paramecia, and a Logia type devil fruit.
For sure.
So like that's why I'm thinking like Blackbeard needs to have 3 because he's such a direct parallel to Luffy. But that's why I think that Blackbeard technically will have 3 devil fruits, is like he needs to work his way up, and Logias have the easiest will to conquer.
Okay, but why wouldn't he just pick like a Zoan devil fruit that could give him all of these 3 abilities?
Because he wants to get specific other devil fruit powers. Like, I think he's specifically hunting for certain devil fruits that work well together. So he got the Yami Yami no Mi, which is, like, incredibly strong and can negate devil fruit powers, which is really good. The second one he got was a Paramecia devil fruit. He got the Quake fruit, which is absolutely just devastating with its attack power. So not only does he have a devil fruit that's kind of more for defense, even though he can still get injured with it, that the way that he can turn off devil fruits as well as, like, kind of sink things in is not only good for, like, long range attacks, but it's also good as to like defend against people with powerful devil fruits. Now he has a very offensive type devil fruit that can destroy things. The last Zoan type devil fruit he's going to get is going to be a completely defensive devil fruit that increases his physical strength, so that when he gets hit, he's not going to actually feel damage.
I feel like the most likely thing is that he already has the Zoan fruit personally. Because that could all, like, somebody brought up the Cerberus fruit. Maybe it's the octopus, kraken, whatever. Anything that's multiple hearts or heads or anything. I feel like that, because that would explain how he's had multiple. Like, if you're a Cerberus, maybe like that actually, if you go into a Cerberus form, maybe that actually gives you 3 different bodies in one body, and that's how he's like cheating it. I don't know, like that theoretically shouldn't work, because whenever you go back to human, it should remix. But because that also ties to, which, Chesson, I know you brought this up, and I despise when people try talking down to this point, but Blackbeard scarred Shanks. He's the only person to do it, and personally, I really doubt it's just the Wolverine claws that he bought at the offline from AliExpress or whatever, because that's like
Yeah, you can't be.
that like we're not like there's no way. There's no way that young Teach was doing that kind of work to Shanks. I'm just there's no way. So he has to have some secret sauce, is what I'm getting at, because like he definitely does. It's just Blackbeard is not. It's just I just doubt it. I just can't see that being it. It's got to be like some claws, or like maybe it's a hint that like those claws, maybe he has those claws just to throw people off whenever he like scars people with his whatever his devil fruit claws are. Then like, oh, he used his normal claws. It's like, oh no, he's way stronger than that. You just don't know that. So that's what I like to think, because then it just puts a lot of things into perspective. Like we think about Orochi and Blackbeard, who I think are absolutely going to be parallels to each other. Orochi got a multiple headed fruit way back when he was a kid, like way at the very start, right? He got that devil fruit. He was like lured into the plan. And then so we think about Blackbeard, like that would be before Blackbeard joined Whitebeard. Maybe he had that experience and that's how he learned everything, because he had to learn it from somewhere, and he learned it before he joined Whitebeard somehow, right? So I think he got that fruit a long time ago from someone who influenced him. That's why he went on this journey, because he realized he could get all three, and maybe somehow he knew that there were three specific ones that would like lead him to taking over. And now we also have to wonder, well, why does he want Boa's fruit? Like this would mean that he wasn't going to eat it, because if he can only have three or whatever, then I don't know who he would have given that to. But either way, yeah, I'm thinking he already has it. I don't know which one though.
See, my big thing is that I think that Blackbeard is going to parallel the evolution of Devil Fruit users as main villains. So like our first like main villain was like Crocodile, right? With the Logia type. We had Logia types, and then it transitioned to Paramecia types, and then transitioned into Zoan types. And I see Blackbeard had a Logia type at first, then he had a Paramecia, and then I think the last one is going to be a Zoan to kind of parallel how he's transitioned into that. But that's just my personal theory.